I'm going to walk through the Meraki MX68CW the way I would if I were sitting at a desk, trying to decide whether to spend a few $100s on a small business firewall or keep using the consumer router I already have. The goal here isn't to hype the brand, it's to help you figure out if the device actually solves the problems you're dealing with, and if the price makes sense for the protection you need. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. First off, the biggest hesitation most people have with an enterprise-grade firewall is that the name can feel intimidating. You see terms like licensed appliance bundle and wonder if you're signing up for a subscription you'll never understand, or if the device will be a nightmare to configure for a team of one. That's a valid concern, because the Meraki line does require you to use their cloud dashboard for management, which is a shift from the plug-and-play style of most home routers. In the real world, though, that cloud interface can be a blessing if you've ever tried to troubleshoot a network issue remotely or had a new employee join and need a quick VPN access point. The MX68CW lets you spin up a site-to-site VPN from the dashboard in a few clicks, and every change you make is logged online, so you always have a history of what was done and when. Now, let's talk about who actually benefits from this box. If you run a small office with about 50 users, need a reliable firewall, and want the ability to enforce granular security policies without spending a full day learning a CLI, the MX68CW fits nicely. The device supports up to 200 megabits per second of firewall throughput, which is more than enough for typical office workloads. Think email, web browsing, cloud SaaS apps, and even occasional video conferencing. For a startup that's still scaling, having that headroom can prevent you from hitting a network bottleneck when the team expands or when a new cloud service is added. Because the appliance comes with a 3-year license, you're also getting the Meraki security updates rolled out automatically, so you don't have to chase firmware patches yourself. On the other side, if you're a home user who only needs basic NAT and Wi-Fi, you'll probably be overpaying. The MX68CW does not include a built-in Wi-Fi radio, so you'll still need a separate access point, which adds to the total cost and complexity. And if your environment is a very small office with fewer than 10 users, a cheaper firewall like the Ubiquiti Edge Router X or even a newer high-end consumer router could cover the same needs for a fraction of the price. In short, the sweet spot for the MX68CW is a modestly sized office that cares about centralized policy management and remote visibility. One practical strength that shows up when you actually try to set up the device is how smooth the onboarding process is. You plug the appliance into your internet line, power it up, and the Meraki dashboard walks you through the steps: assign a site name, configure your WAN settings, and then you're prompted to add VLANs and define traffic rules. The whole thing can be finished in under an hour, even if you're not a networking pro. The dashboard also offers pre-configured best practice policies that block known malicious IP ranges and enforce content filtering. Those templates are a real time saver because they let you lock down your network without having to write every rule from scratch. A hidden trade-off, though, is the reliance on the cloud dashboard itself. The MX68CW needs a constant internet connection to the Meraki cloud for its management functions. If your internet goes down, you still retain the firewall's basic packet filtering, but any changes or new policy pushes have to wait until the connection is restored. For most offices, that's not a deal breaker, but in a remote location where the internet is spotty, you might find that limitation frustrating. It also means you're dependent on CISCO's service continuity. If the Meraki cloud ever experiences an outage, which has happened on rare occasions, you won't be able to tweak the device until the service is back online. Another practical consideration is licensing. The 3-year bundle includes the enterprise license, which unlocks all the advanced security features like IDS/IPS, content filtering, and advanced threat protection. That's a solid value compared to buying a firewall and then paying separate subscriptions for each security module. However, after the 3 years, you'll have to decide whether to renew at the same price or migrate to a different solution. The renewal cost isn't listed in the product page, so you should be prepared for an extra expense down the line if you want to keep those protections active. When looking at the physical side of things, The unit is a compact 1U-sized box that fits nicely in a rack or on a shelf. The ports are clearly labeled 2 gigabit Ethernet WAN ports, including one with built-in LTE fallback, 4 gigabit LAN ports, and a console port. The LTE fallback is a nice safety net for businesses that can't